Welcome to the Scenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack complex topics, give you the clearest insights, and today we're diving into something that feels like, well, just an inescapable part of modern life, stress. It's truly pervasive, isn't it? From urgent deadlines, the constant chime of notifications, our systems just feel perpetually in overdrive. But what if maybe a surprising solution to this modern dilemma lay in an ancient plant, one that's been revered for like millennia? We're talking about Holy Basil. You might know it as Tulsi. So our mission here today is to explore its pretty rich history, uncover what modern science is revealing about it, and show you why Holy Basil is really emerging as a remarkable natural tool for cultivating calm, building resilience. We really wanted to tailor this deep dive for you, the listener, to give you a clear, concise understanding of this. So let's start right at the beginning. What exactly is Holy Basil? Even if you think you know it, it's worth clarifying. We're not talking about the sweet basil in your pesto. This is its distinct cousin peppery, a little bitter. It's a leafy green plant originally from India and Southeast Asia.
Yeah, and beyond just what it is physically, the cultural context is, well, it's equally compelling. Holy basil is considered sacred in Hinduism. You often see it grown in temple gardens. It's central to spiritual rituals. And in the ancient system of Ayurveda, it's revered as a rasiana.
Rasiana.
Think of it like a rejuvenating elixir. It's a class of herbs specifically celebrated for promoting, longevity, vitality, and this sort of holistic balance across mind, body, spirit. And it's particularly recognized for its role as an adaptogen.
Ah, adaptogen. Okay, this part feels really interesting. We hear that term thrown around quite a bit now. But what does it actually mean? For our bodies, I mean.
That's a great question, because it's maybe not as complicated as it sounds. Adaptogens are basically natural substances that help your body adapt to various stressors, physical, chemical, biological, whatever they are. And they help restore a state of homeostasis, balance, without causing overstimulation or making you drowsy. They work by modulating your body's main stress response system. Specifically, they gently sort of fine-tune the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, the HPA axis.
The HPA axis.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Think of that as your body's central command center for stress. It's the pathway that tells your adrenals, okay, release cortisol. Holy basil seems to help keep this command center from, overreacting. Right, so it's not just about managing the symptom of stress, but actually helping the system become more robust, building resilience from the inside out. And the science really seems to be catching up with this traditional use. There was a review, I think, in evidence-based complementary and alternative medicine. It found Holy Basil shows significant anti-stress, anti-anxiety, and even antidepressant properties.
Exactly, which naturally leads to the question, okay, how does it do that? Well, it helps the body cope with both physical and psychological stressors. It does this by actively modulating stress hormones like cortisol and regulating key neurotransmitters, think dopamine, serotonin, things that affect mood. The specific ways it works include reducing those sharp cortisol spikes you get during acute stress, enhancing your body's own natural antioxidant defense systems, which is really important, and improving your overall resilience when you're facing chronic long-term stress.
And this isn't just theoretical stuff in a lab. It's been tested in human studies, right? I remember reading about a 2011 study, had about 158 people. It showed that supplementing with holy basil extract led to pretty significant reductions in reported stress, anxiety, and depression scores compared to a placebo group. And they also saw improvements in things like attention and sleep quality.
Yeah, and if we connect that to the bigger picture, there was another clinical trial in 2012 that backed this up further. In that one, subjects took 500 milligrams of holy basil twice a day. They reported less frequent forgetfulness, less fatigue, and fewer sleep problems. But what's really compelling, I think, is that over 39% of those participants specifically reported improved stress adaptation.
Stress adaptation.
Yeah, meaning it wasn't just fewer symptoms, but a fundamental shift in how their bodies actually handled the daily pressures they were under.
Okay, so let's boil this down. What does this really mean for you listening right now? These results strongly suggest holy basil might not just help reduce the stress symptoms you feel, but could also potentially enhance your cognitive performance, like that attention boost, and contribute to overall mood stability. Before I really look into this, I guess I always just thought stress was, a feeling, an emotional thing. But understanding how it physically shows up, how cortisol can just keep our system constantly on high alert. It's like your body's stuck in traffic, right?
Yeah.
Constantly revving the engine going nowhere.
That's a great analogy. And that's exactly why understanding cortisol, the stress hormone, is so critical. When cortisol levels are chronically elevated day after day, that's strongly linked to a whole host of issues. We're talking insomnia, persistent anxiety, a weakened immune system, even things like weight gain.
And Holy Basil seems to directly target that system. It's been found to actually lower baseline cortisol levels. That feels like a major benefit. It also supports healthy adrenal function, the glands producing that cortisol, and it improves something called heart rate variability, HRV, which that's a really key marker, isn't it, for nervous system balance?
It absolutely is. HRV, or heart rate variability, essentially measures the tiny millisecond variations in time between your heartbeats. Higher variability generally indicates a more resilient, flexible nervous system, one that's better able to bounce back from stress and adapt to demands. Lower HRV often correlates with being stuck in that fight or flight mode.
I see. So Holy Basil helps improve that flexibility.
Exactly, and these beneficial effects, they're largely attributed to its natural compounds, things like eugenol, ursolic acid, and rosmarinic acid. These compounds play a vital role in calming the nervous system directly and also protecting the body from oxidative stress, that cellular damage that chronic stress can cause. So it makes Holy Basil a really valuable ally in helping restore physiological balance when you're under prolonged pressure. It helps us shift back into, cruising speed.
Okay, we've gone pretty deep into Holy Basil's unique strengths. But I imagine people are wondering, how does it stack up, against other adaptogens that are maybe more well-known?
That's a really practical question, yeah, because each adaptogen definitely has its own kind of personality, its unique strengths. So, for instance, ashwagandha. That's probably best known for its ability to lower cortisol and really ease anxiety. That's mainly through compounds called with analytes.
Right, ashwagandha is quite popular.
Very. Then you have rhodiola rosea. People often turn to that more for enhancing focus, mental stamina, and reducing fatigue. That works through its rosavins and salidroside. And then there's L-theanine. Now, that's not technically a traditional herb. It's an amino acid compound mostly found in green tea. It's great for promoting relaxation and mental clarity without drowsiness, mainly by working on neurotransmitters like GABA.
Interesting. So where does Holy Basil fit in that landscape?
Holy Basil, I'd say, stands out for its really broad spectrum support. It offers benefits across stress relief, mood balance, and immune health, which is a nice combination. That's thanks to compounds like eugenol and ursolic acid we mentioned. It seems particularly helpful for people dealing with that feeling of emotional overwhelm, maybe some brain fog, or just feeling generally worn down, low resilience due to chronic stress.
That makes sense. It sounds quite holistic.
Yeah.
So if you're listening and thinking, okay, I want to try this, what are the practical ways to actually use Holy Basil for stress relief?
It's pretty versatile, which is good news. It's available in several forms. You can easily find it in capsules or tablets. And if you go that route, it's often helpful to look for standardized extracts.
Standardized meaning?
Right. Meaning they guarantee a certain percentage of the key active compounds. Like you might see standardized to 2% ursolic acid. That just helps ensure you're getting a consistent dose each time.
Okay.
Then there's Tulsi tea. That's a really lovely, gentle option. Great for incorporating daily, maybe especially calming in the evening.
Like a ritual.
Exactly. You can also find tinctures or liquid extracts. Those are often quite fast-acting because they're absorbed quickly and you can easily adjust the dosage drop by drop. And of course, if you happen to have access to fresh leaves, maybe you grow it, they can be chewed or just steeped in warm water.
Lots of options then. What about dosage? How much should someone typically consider taking for, say, general stress support?
For general stress support, a common recommendation is around 300 to 500 milligrams of a standardized extract, taken once or maybe twice daily. If you prefer the tea, maybe 1 to 2 cups per day could offer milder but still beneficial support. But, and this is really crucial, it's always best to consult your healthcare provider before starting any new supplement, especially if you're already taking other medications or if you're pregnant or breastfeeding. That's non-negotiable.
That's a really critical point. Safety first. Are there any potential side effects people should be aware of? Things to watch out for?
Generally speaking, Holy Basil is considered very well tolerated by most people. It has a good safety profile. Some individuals, though, might experience mild side effects like slight nausea or maybe a little dizziness. That's usually more likely at very high doses.
Okay.
It's also important to be aware of potential interactions. Because it can have mild blood-thinning effects, you need caution if you're on blood-thinning medications like warfarin, and it might potentially lower blood sugar, so care is needed if you're on hypoglycemic medications for diabetes.
Good to know. What about hormonal effects? Sometimes you hear concerns about adaptogens and hormones.
Yeah, that's a common question. With holy basil, hormonal effects seem to be quite rare and are typically only observed, if at all, at exceptionally high doses, far beyond standard recommendations. But the really good news here is that there's absolutely no evidence suggesting dependency or withdrawal symptoms with holy basil.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, which makes it feel like a safe option for long-term use for many people who find it beneficial.
Okay, final practical question.
Yeah.
How long does it actually take to feel the effects? Is it something you notice right away, or does it need time to build up?
It can vary a bit person to person, as with most natural remedies. Some people do report noticing benefits relatively quickly, maybe within a few days. That might be things like a subtle sense of calmness or perhaps just a slightly improved mood.
Okay.
However, for the full adaptogenic effects, that deeper resilience to chronic stress, the better cortisol balance we talked about that generally takes a bit longer, you're probably looking at about 2 to 4 weeks of consistent daily use to really start seeing those more profound systemic benefits build up. Patience and consistency are key here.
Right, consistency. That makes sense. It's not a quick fix, but more about building that long-term resilience.
Yeah.
So let's try and bring this all together. We live in a world where stress genuinely impacts our sleep, our mood, our overall mental health, our physical health too. And holy basil really does seem to stand out. We often think of stress management as just reacting when we feel overwhelmed, right? But what holy basil quietly reveals is this powerful ancient blueprint for building proactive resilience. It's not just about calming the storm when it hits, but maybe fundamentally strengthening your inner foundation against it. And importantly, often without the kind of side effects that can come with some modern pharmaceutical solutions.
Absolutely. I think one of the most striking things about it is how it acts as this gentle yet really effective ally, whether you're someone navigating those high-pressure workdays constantly or maybe experiencing emotional burnout or even just feeling generally overwhelmed by, well, life. Holy basil seems to genuinely offer support in helping you regain your sense of balance.
It's quite remarkable. So as you go about your day after listening to this, maybe just consider this thought. How could integrating an ancient plant, one that's been revered and used for literally millennia, how could that quietly revolutionize your modern approach to maintaining mental and physical equilibrium? Something to think about.
Thanks for tuning in to the Scenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit scenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.